Hi, my name is Stacey Ann, and this is my story. I decided to make this keepsake box so that whoever finds it in the future can really have a first-hand look at how things were at the time. On October 21st, 1970, I voyaged off with my classmates on what was to be an adventure not only to help me grow intellectually, but allow me to have a wonderful experience with my classmates. Unfortunately, things went terribly wrong. The cruise ship that we were all on encountered a hurricane and struck near a remote island in the Caribbean. Fortunately, myself and the 2,000 passengers that were aboard were able to make it off the ship and safely onto the tiny island. The sad part about this, we all escaped with only the clothes on our back, and everything that was remaining on the boat washed up by sea, leaving us all stuck on this island forever, with no trace of the ship and all communications completely unavailable. When we all first arrived on the island, everything was in shambles, and no one really knew if we were going to be able to withstand living on this new land. It was extremely unorthodox way of living in comparison to how things were in Canada. In saying that, seeing that 25% of the population was under 12, the other 25 between the ages of 12 and 17, including myself, and the remaining 50% of the population over 18, we were all confused on how we were going to come to terms on finding a way of getting everything sorted. Surprisingly, after weeks went by, we were able to get by. We all decided to gather around in the center of the island, figure out a mean in which we could all come to an agreement on how we were going to find a way to govern and overall live on this tiny island. We all came to the conclusion that the best leadership style in order for us to effectively get anything done on this island was to have a dictatorship. Seeing that there's only 2,000 people living on this island at the time being, it would be easy for certain laws, rules, and regulations to be implemented if we had one specific individual leading over everyone else. We also came to the mutual agreement that all laws, for the most part, should stay the same in comparison to what they were in Canada at the time. But for the most part, we did tweak a few laws, seeing the fact that the way of life in which we were living on the island did not 100% compare to how things were in Canada in terms of the agriculture, climate, etc. Seeing that we were only able to make it off the ship with the clothes on our back, there was no physical form of currency on the island at the time. Instead of having physical money on the island, the way in which citizens on the island exchanged funds was for the most part by agriculture. So instead of trading for dollars, they traded for produce. In terms of governing, the leader would only have approximately 8 years of being in power. And after that, another leader would be appointed by the citizens of the country. The leader would have the responsibilities of making major decisions that would affect the citizens. There was, in fact, only a few law enforcements on the island. But for the most part, everyone living on the island were able to come to mutual agreements when it came to the majority of decisions that were made, and there was no real forms of crimes that were done. Anyone that was found for doing a crime were executed from the island. The main culture shock in which the majority of the citizens, including myself, faced was the fact that it was an overall 365 days a year tropical climate. In Canada, I was used to having the cold weather, snow, and a diverse climate. But living on this island had forced me to get accustomed to living in this warmer climate. In addition to that, living in an area where there was literally fresh water everywhere I turned, it forced me to kind of see a different way of life and admire and appreciate nature more than anything else.